Hi, Metalhead Weatherman. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a little while since I've done a long range forecast, so I figured today would be as good a time as any. I'm gonna get right into it here, and now things have begun to change once more. We've now got an enhanced risk. Was not expecting that today, but lo and behold, here we are. It's around the same region that we just seem to never stop talking about. Montana and parts of North Dakota. We'll take a look at the increased threat. Main thing I'm expecting to see will be wind. There is a 2% tornado threat around North Dakota and Montana today. We'll have to watch that closely. We also can't rule out some parts of Minnesota tonight. And lo and behold, here's our wind threat, 30% and a hatched risk area right in between Montana and North Dakota, mainly towards central Montana and central North Dakota, almost square in the middle, almost square in the central. But we still can't rule out some more dangerous weather being a little bit further south, especially towards North Dakota. Our hail threat has remained at a slight risk, and we do have a hatched risk area around the overall enhanced risk region. All right, we'll go towards day 2 for the main weather threat. Oh, wait, we're actually going to go back to day 1 because I forgot to mention the slight risk that is over here towards the southeast. This is mainly for a wind threat and nothing else. So Alabama and Mississippi are in play here. We have Jackson and Greenville and parts of Birmingham in play. So that'll be more to watch for. We go to day 2. Very large slight risk area here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a enhanced risk pop up here as well. And then for everyone else, we have garden variety thunderstorms. But the areas to look out for will be some parts of Wisconsin, but we also have Duluth and Minneapolis in play, Minnesota. Then of course we have the Dakotas in play. Almost all of North Dakota involved, and the northern half of South Dakota. And of course, we're over towards the eastern part of Montana and a small portion of Wyoming. Our main hazard types, we actually have a slightly more elevated tornado risk, especially towards Minnesota. Minneapolis here in this as well as Duluth. So we'll be watching you guys tomorrow for the threat of tornadoes. Our wind threat is going to be relatively widespread, as well as our hail threat. Alright, now we go to day 3. So far, this is a marginal risk, and this looks like one of those windbag type setups. This is definitely looking to be more of a line of thunderstorms or just damaging winds altogether. Either way, still could be trouble for a lot of people around the Midwest come Monday. So I'll have to keep a close eye on this. But Chicago, we have Denver all the way to Chicago in play here. Areas in between could include Peoria, Springfield, and Hannibal. Then we go all the way to Kansas City and Jefferson. Then Wichita, Garden City, Liberal, and Colby as well. And we can't forget the Panhandle of Oklahoma. We also have Woodward involved and a few other areas in the Panhandle of Texas as well. Right now, this is a marginal risk. Wouldn't be surprised to see an upgrade to slight risk. I wouldn't be surprised to see this marginal risk expand as well. We'll see what this does though. We go to day 4, and we have a slight risk on day 4 for the Northeast. We pretty much have almost the entire interior Northeast in play, just to the east of Buffalo, and once we get towards Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh's in play here. We have Scranton, Binghamton, Albany. All of you guys could be in line for some severe storms. I'm thinking most likely going to be damaging winds. Can't rule out tornadoes, but I consider it highly unlikely. Then we go through days 5 through 8, and the predictability is too low. So let's see what storm systems we have in store for us. What do we have right now, and what lies ahead in the weeks to come? Okay, so this is what we're looking like right now. Here's our current storm system. Here's our current ridge. It's almost kind of like a weird ring of fire type setup to where all the heat surrounded by cold air masses, which pretty much leads to a lot of thunderstorm activity, a lot of because remember, thunderstorms are caused by warm and cold air clashing. So these little clear, neutral colored areas are going to be where you can suspect thunderstorm activity to be highest. And that's just pretty much all around the country. We'll also get to see who's warmer than average and cooler than average based on this anomaly map here too, which is nice. Alright, so let's go forward here. And you can see in these low pressures constantly hanging around. It looks like we could be on the verge of a cool down come tomorrow. Hard to say. Definitely looks like we'll finally see a break here. And it's also going to be a more active weather pattern too, especially towards the northern plains. And then as we get towards the end of the first half of June, we'll have to watch for additional storm systems. Also maybe some monsoonal flow around the Four Corners region. Oh no. And there we go there. Gotta love when that happens. And by the 14th and closing in on the 15th, the warm air is pushing its way back into the... Not again! Jeez. I'm trying to do this using the keyboard buttons, but apparently that's not working too well right now. We're going to try that one more time. Scroll back up. Alright. So here we are in the morning hours of July 15th. Our ridge is back in place, especially around the northeast. So around the eastern half of the country, brace yourself. There's going to be a brief cool down, but it looks like things are going to heat back up pretty quick, unfortunately. But this looks like we're kind of trending towards a little bit more of a flip-flop type pattern. Maybe a little bit more towards a cool down. And whoa, hold on, what is that? You can actually see here that off to the Baja Peninsula here, this looks like a tropical system. Might be working its way onshore. This is the operational model, so I have to take this with a grain of salt. Not to mention, this is 11 days out. We have no models that are really going to have a great read on this other than the GFS. So there's a lot of things that could change with that. We'll have to see if that holds true. And then, of course, towards the middle of June, towards the latter half of June, we see ridges trying to rebuild here. But also, with as far out as it's been, as we've gotten here, a lot of things are prone to changing. But there is some hope here that we may have a slightly cooler July than what we had for June. June was just downright hot for everybody. It'd be nice. Then also at the end of this model run here, we do see what looks like a little low pressure forming offshore here. This may turn into a tropical system. We'll have to watch and see what that does. Might do a tropical outlook tomorrow just to try to avoid making the video super long. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what we might be dealing with in regards to moisture. I'm actually going to try to backtrack here. Alright, so here is our 6-hour average precip rate. This is kind of the closest thing to radar reflectivity I can find here on the operational GFS. But we're going to go all the way through and see what we find here. Alright, come on, baby. Alright, let me move this out. Oh, that's why. Let me move this out the way. Yeah, I'm sorry, my computer setup isn't the greatest, and I don't have much room to work with here. It's kind of hard to actually be a musician and a weather geek like myself, so it's kind of tricky. Uh-oh, here we go. Even Tropical Tidbits doesn't want to work. Okay, there we go. So we've gotten through the weekend at this point. Still the same old story. Thunderstorms around the southeast. And then maybe a little bit more focused severe weather towards the northern tier of the country. Get to about 7 days out. Oh, not 7 days out, excuse me. Almost about 4-5 days out now. And we can see clearly that this weather pattern isn't going anywhere. If anywhere, we might have more flashpoints where we can get more thunderstorms. Here's our monsoonal flow that I was talking about right here. Kind of taking more shape towards the middle of the month, around the Four Corners in the northwest, especially towards the mountain time zone. See an additional low pressure. We'll have to watch towards the afternoon, the 18th, for maybe some severe weather. Meanwhile, the Northeast looks like they're going to get a lot of rain towards the towards the back half of July. Here's our tropical system right here making its way into the Baja region, Baja Peninsula region. And of course, we have more low pressures. Canada's been getting, also I want to say, Canada's been getting walloped with severe weather this year. Been quite a few tornadoes, a couple of significant ones. So this pattern also lends to there being severe weather up in Canada. I don't really have a great means of trying to be able to track some of that. I would love to at some point, but right now we'll just have to take it one step at a time. But shout out to any folks in Canada that may be seeing this video. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Alright, so we're about 300 hours out. Monsoonal flow. We have more thunderstorms in the south and east. Here's what looks like a low pressure system hanging around the coast. May go offshore and become a named system, but that's towards the end of the model run. So a lot of things that are still uncertain, but one thing that we can take away from this more than anything looks to be a major cool down. Looks like we could have a couple of cool downs on the way. Maybe this really dominant ridge type deal might start to break. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated as best as I can on it. In fact, I want to try to see if I can take a look at one more thing here, but hang on just a moment. Here we go. This is what I want right here. So here is our temperatures. We're just going to we're going to try to run a full loop on this if we can. Oh wow. It's not even, it's gone all the way to the end of the model here, end of the model run here. There we go. Now we got this right. I was like kind of confused looking at that, so I apologize for that. A little bit sloppy video, and I do apologize, but hey, this channel's as raw as it gets right now. So hey, we'll polish things up over time as we get better equipment, but right now I'm working with what I got. This computer's about 7 years old. We look about 12 hours out now. Around the southeast, towards the south, towards Georgia and Alabama, it's actually a little bit cooler today. It's going to be a little bit cooler heading into Saturday. Weather's been a little bit cloudier through the first half of the day, so it might lead to some cooler temperatures. But anywhere west of Mississippi, it's going to be still pretty hot. Although tomorrow, nah, it doesn't look any better. I'm trying to find some bright spot in all of this. Somebody, but over towards the north and east, though, you guys look like y'all have pretty nice low temperatures. Y'all are hanging around the 40s and 50s. Everywhere else, you're usually sitting at about. Everywhere else is going to be sitting at about 60 and 70 with moderately high dew points. Come Monday afternoon, the heat's on. Looks a little bit cooler towards the south and east. Maybe because of the popcorn thunderstorm activity, but over towards Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, and towards the Arklatex belt, maybe even the Corn Belt as well, could be pretty scathingly hot still. We go towards the 13th. Not much changes here. It just seems like it's going to be hot for everybody. No one's really exempt here, unless you maybe towards the far reaches up in the mountains of Oregon and Washington. You might get some more comfortable temperatures, but it's still going to be warmer than average. Warmer than average even for you guys. I cannot get my words out today. All right, so moving along here, trying to get some kind of indicator that things are going to cool down, and it really doesn't look like it. The anomaly map doesn't quite seem to match up with the temperature map here. Hopefully this changes. It'd be very nice, especially for me since I'm a landscaper. But for right now, through most of July, even though I was thinking the anomaly map might help us out here, doesn't really look like the heat's necessarily going anywhere, but there may be opportunities where we may get a break or two in between. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll just have to see what happens and hope for the best here. But until then, And until the next video, this has been Ty, Metalhead Weatherman. I will see you guys later.